Well, I think you need to remember that Ireland is often characterised as having two economies, the international economy and the domestic economy. The domestic economy still employs over 50% of Irish people, and this is the part of the economy that has not had the massive pickup that the big cities, which are dominated by international tech, pharma firms, etc., have seen. And that's why we're seeing something of a political crisis and less enthusiasm for Kenny outside of the main cities. And with regards to the employment figures, I would completely agree with you. I liked your characterisation, they're fantastic. However, one thing they do point to is the extreme volatility of the Irish economy. We saw the boom that began in the early 90s continued through till the financial crisis, followed by years of austerity, and now the pickup we're seeing again. But that's not necessarily filtering through to the regions in the same way that it has done in the cities. And that's really been a key problem for the Premier. Now, if we think back to Wednesday, when Enda Kenny made it very clear that despite a lot of pressure on his leadership recently, he would not be going anywhere before his trip to the US to visit President Trump. This trip is really focused around trade, because there's a lot of concern that the regions that have suffered the most are the same ones that could suffer again more the most when Brexit actually goes through. So a lot of focus there on trade. Yesterday I caught up with Martin Hayden, the chairman of the governing Fine Gael party, and I asked him just how important is this trip for the Taoiseach. Take a listen.
This trip is crucial, and irrespective of whether it's Fine Gael or any other political party here in charge, I would feel very strongly that for a country of 4 million people, we get unbelievable access around St. Patrick's Day, not just in America with the president of the day, but also we have 27 other ministers who are travelling to 27 other different countries, and built around every minister's visit, which is premised on St. Patrick's Day and the Irish connections of our diaspora that are spread all over the world, is trade missions. So travelling with the Taoiseach will be members of the IDA, the Irish Development Association, and we will be actively seeking to engage with business leaders to sell the story of what Ireland has to offer, and to particularly sell the message that, you know, Ireland is very much open for business despite Brexit and all of the threats that brings around. So in terms of the Taoiseach's visit, there are obviously a number of key issues that are very important to us when he meets with President Trump. The 50,000 undocumented Irish are, of huge concern to us, that how they are treated in any change of policy towards immigrants, and the Taoiseach will take that opportunity. So the idea that the leader of our country would pass up on that opportunity, to me, is ridiculous, and it's more important now than ever that we keep dialogue open and that we engage in that. And that's why, everybody agrees that the Taoiseach needs to go on this trip and needs to put Ireland's case forward, as well as the fact that he's a leader of a European country. So maybe some of the sentiment that President Trump has outlined in the past that would be negative towards the European Union, I'm sure the Taoiseach will give a very clear indication as to what are the positives that Europe has brought to Ireland, and what the European Union has brought to many of the countries in terms of political stability and financial union.